I love your ball.
Hello. Hi, Tracy.
Hi.
Before I break everything, I'm going to put it back down.
I love that ball so much.
Yeah, it's been 10 years that I have this social media love ball. And actually, this one is the second. So 10 years ago, I got it at Walmart because it was,
Love it.
yeah. And then the one I have still, she's a little, and then my husband this summer, it's like, oh my God, they have the same balloon as you bought 10 years ago. So I said, buy. I said, buy 10. And he's like, are you sure?
One for each year.
I said, okay, buy one.
Oh, I love
Tracy,
it.
welcome to our case study interview. I so appreciate that you are making time for this because not only it's going to be, an opportunity for me to introduce you to my audience, but also an opportunity for all of you in my audience to have an understanding of what it is when we start working together at Social Media Love, because it's beyond the marketing, it's beyond the tactics and the strategy. And so I told you a few weeks ago that I will bring you as many as of the women entrepreneurs who are in my community to share how they go through the journey. Everybody's different, so Tracy's gonna bring her own story. So before we go into the question, can you introduce yourself, Tracy? Where are you talking us from? Who you serve and what you do in this world?
Oh, I'd love to. Thank you, Angelique. So, hi, my name's Tracy Tutty. I'm coming to you all the way from New Zealand in the Southern Hemisphere, in the Wairarapa, the home of Pinot Noir and olives. I am the founder of Project Joyful, the podcast for health centered leaders. So, I'm a medical herbalist and executive coach, and I specialize in helping drained managers become health centered leaders, regain their energy, become calmer, and as a natural byproduct, become more productive.
You are a giant. Like, I have to tell you, like, sometimes some of our session finish with Tracy telling me what herb to give my son, to give my husband. Like, you are a treasure. And what I love is that you apply this part of who you are and that skill and competencies to help leaders and professionals to navigate their professional slash personal life in a new way. So this is the part that is so interesting about your work. Can you tell us more how you make the connection between two before I ask you a question about our experience working together?
Yeah, well, it's been a journey, and you've helped me a lot with that, Angelique. So thank you. I have been a medical herbalist since 2010. I'm a degree qualified medical herbalist. And so a lot of what my work was about was helping people to get back in touch with their energy. So working with stressed out people, drained, exhausted people, specializing in gastrointestinal disorders, because when you're stressed, it tends to show up in your gut, particularly if you're a leader and you can't be freaking out all over the place. So what happened was I was working with some people. They were getting better, and then they were like, well, what do I do with my life? And I was like, hold that thought, let me find out. So I trained as a coach, more recently a neuroidentity evolution practitioner, which has been a game changer for my clients. So for me, it's been a journey of bringing those two together, because I had medical herbalist over here and executive coach over there. It was very hard to work out how I was going to bring them together as one thing, when in fact, they're so complementary and so synergistic. So yeah, it's been a journey.
Yeah, I love it, especially when you know the impact of stress on our biological body or neurological everything, or but our hormones and all, even the genetics, right?
Yeah,
So
all the
that,
things.
yeah. And so that's why that's your very unique selling position, I would say, because there are not a lot of executive leadership coach that are medical herbalists, right? With that pedigree that you have.
Mm, yeah.
So, Tracy, um, can you bring us back to? So, if you don't know me, I should introduce myself because some of you are new to the house. Social Media Love I call this a nano global company that serves women entrepreneurs to fall in love with their fears of becoming visible online. And we use visible as an acronym to use your voice, your ideas, your stories of life that shaped who you became as an entrepreneur, right? Your irresistible offers that a lot of women are resistant to offer, when in fact they are so happy and profoundly, proud of their offers. And the selling process is a mindset game that we work a lot on: the belief work, the leadership work, and your expertise. Most of us, we open business because we have a super expertise, right? But as you know, it's beyond the expertise. You need the marketing hat, you need all the other hats that comes with it, right? So, and the core of everything is to sell, and to sell it, you have to let the world know what you do. And so that's a part where I help women entrepreneurs to take their market share online, building their online ecosystem, sales process, offers, and then pricing. And as we do that, we do the inner work, which is reprogramming everything you think, everything you believe, everything you say using specific words. So that's what we do. So, Tracy, you came to me. We're friends first and foremost, right? Because we did the neuro identity evolution training together so that we could serve our clients even better. You in your leadership role, me in my marketing role. So we became friends, and then we became clients. You became a client like what, almost 5 months ago, 6 months ago. That we started in May. What is that?
Yeah, we started in May.
Yeah.
Mm.
So can you bring us back to what was your frustration or challenge before we even had the discussion about working together? How would you describe it?
So I felt like I was doing the thing. So I was posting regularly, I was showing up online, but I wasn't getting traction. So I would get like maybe one or two clients every 3 or 4 months. So it was always like enough to keep me going, but not enough for me to be in a full-time role doing what I love. And I knew I needed to do something different within myself because of the work that we've done. I didn't know what it was. And so I reached out to you.
Okay. And did you try the other solutions before? I know that a lot of women who come to me included,
Mm.
before I did so much work. Like, could you tell us what type of other solutions you tried and why you were still in that place of frustration?
Yeah, I mean, like a lot of people, I think, who are, they're in the business of helping people, and I'd invested a lot. Like I had done, like I've lost count of the number of marketing courses I've done, the number of social media courses I've done, often with big names and influencers, following their strategies. Like I say, getting a little bit of improvement, but not like, a quantum leap improvement. So yeah, I think I've probably invested enough to buy a house, I would say, over the years.
I should do the math and see if I have a house too. I love this comparison. Yeah. And so um did you have any objections, because you knew that there was something in getting towards working with social media love, but did you have any objections before you decided to join? And if you had any, and then what made you take the decision? Because investing in yourself is always a decision. You have to bet on yourself, right? There is no
Yeah.
proof that it's gonna work, and we have to go in that unfamiliar, unknown, and surrender to, like, bet on ourselves, right? That's what I've learned about
Mhm.
life.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, I did have resistance because, like I said, I've done a lot of courses on marketing, social media, running a business. I'm a chartered accountant by trade. So, in terms of like the nuts and bolts of running a business, I'm all over that. But the marketing and being present online, I didn't even know that I didn't even know it. That's how far out of my understanding it was. And so for me, the resistance was around that ROI, because I'd invested so much with other programs and not had the results that I was looking for. I was like, why is this different? Now I was lucky in that I know what the type of coaching that we do is all about. And I knew that there was something that needed to change within me, because it was about the inner work, not necessarily about the tactics and strategies that I was employing. And for me, the turning point was when we did that. We did a challenge within a group that we were in, that 30-day visibility challenge. I was sweet, happily posting every day, turning up online, doing the things. Again, no change. And I was like, what am I missing? And I remember having, one of those moments, and there've been many in our work together, where you looked me in the eye and you said, I know you think you're being visible, but you're not really being visible. I didn't even know that you were a medical herbalist. And I was like, how can you not know that? And then I was like, oh, hang on a minute. And that was the turning point. And I was all in.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that, Tracy.
Ah.
Oh, wow. And
Yeah.
I love that you say that, because it's I'm working with another client right now, one-on-one, and we are building an offer with her. And I'm like, well, we're gonna need a little bio. So I have a formula for bio, like a template. Like, I build your bio. We could actually do it with you too, because I know you already have a good bio, but it's so fun, because in that template, I was like, what? You did that? And she never talks about it. And
Yeah.
all of us, we take for granted some big ass moment of our life that we never talk about. Or we think, because it's so much part of us, we think that everybody knows. So we can, or we hide. I think it's a form of hiding, when
Yeah.
we kind of pretend that everybody knows.
Everybody knows about it. Or if it's something that you're really good at, right? And you don't talk about it because you're like, well, everyone must be really good at that. Guess what? They're not. You need to talk about it.
Yeah, and that's I want you to talk about this, but so one of the things we do when you work one-on-one with me is that I interview you about your visible factors. And in those conversations, we edit the clip, so I re-listen to them, and each time, Tracy, I have goosebumps, because not only the tone you share your story, but also the things that you say that I've never heard, and the way you say it, it's like so powerful. So yeah, you were putting out content every day, like, please follow Tracy. She's a good, amazing example of being consistent. Like, amazing. And you're amazing, but you said, and it was my case too, Tracy, I would be the best student at being consistent and no traction. And then that thing started to shift inside of me. And suddenly the post that was the same maybe 3 months before suddenly resonated with the audience. What has changed? Not the audience, not the post. It's you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Can you
Absolutely.
try to describe that? Because I find it's a challenge to describe what is happening.
Yeah, it's really tricky, isn't it? Because it's so, I don't know, it's so inherent in who you are as a person that it's really hard to, like, it's one of those things where you have to be in it to know, what it's about and what it's like. But if I try and give some examples perhaps to how it's showing up in my life right now. So one of the things I do with my podcast is that I do some shorts where I talk about, jump on over to the Project Joyful podcast. Now, I've been putting them up on YouTube, like, what am I? I'm like, I have a weekly episode. I'm up to about 168, 169, something like that. So for quite a long time, I've been putting these out.
Wait.
I love it. So good. So I've been putting these out on YouTube, and like, seriously, like 1 view, 2 view. And most of them are people who know and love me, right? They're like, oh, Tracy's put it, I'll go and watch that just so she's got a view, kind of thing. And then about a couple of months ago, all of a sudden, they started getting more views. Like I'm getting about 40 or 50 views consistently now, which I know for YouTubers, they're like, well, that's not very much. But for me, that's monumental, right? And the other ways that it's showing up is that I am like, these conversations are naturally falling out of my mouth. Like I'm working So I go into organizations and I essentially rescue finance teams. That's the other thing that I do. And what's happening is, like, it's a whole new Tracy, because I am naturally having conversations around, hey, I've noticed this. Do you want to talk about that? I could help you with this. And like, so these conversations are starting to happen, which weren't happening before. I know, it's so good.
And I'm going to share a secret publicly. So yesterday I was talking with a person that you're very close to. You connected us, okay?
Yeah.
And one of the conversation we had, I'm going to tell you, we're like, how does Tracy does it? When she speaks, it goes like, whoosh. There is not even an hesitation, like, shh. Like, we were in awe of how when you talk about your expertise and your passion, it comes out of your mouth in a way that is like, okay, you better listen. Tracy's talking.
Oh, thank you. I received that. Thank you.
That's the type of discussion we had when you were not there yesterday.
Oh, I love it. Thank you. Oh, I'm all full now. But you know what? Before social media love, I wouldn't have those conversations.
Tell me more.
I didn't even know I was avoiding them. Like, the thought would never even enter my head. I thought I was just going about my day, doing my role, doing my job, doing what the client had asked me to do. And so I'm leaving all of this opportunity for growth and healing, and for healing workplaces, which is what I love the most. I was leaving that on the table because I wasn't even aware that those conversations were like, I was deeply resistant to those conversations. Whereas now it's just like, I feel like those conversations are actually part of the healing process, because I have conversations with leaders and then I'll catch up with them a couple of months later and they'll say things to me like, do you know, I keep thinking about, and it'll be like a one line throwaway where I'm like, you know, maybe think about this. And they're like, I keep thinking about that. So it's like, when you look at the impact you can be having on the workplace, when you're changing the lives of leaders, you're changing the lives of teams. When you're changing the lives of teams, you're changing the lives of families. So you think about all of that impact that is now happening as a result of doing social media love with Angelique.
I love it. And through your voice.
Yeah.
This is
Through my little Kiwi accent.
I love that examples. So I just want to go a little deeper. Again, trying to put words on something that is intrinsically, it's at a cellular level, that you suddenly, you hear yourself say something to someone, you're like, holy moly, did I just say that?
I know, right?
What happens at the cellular level, at the belief level, like at the, I would say we work a lot with our little girls, right? When we work on social media, like, guys, we work with our little girls on social media. If you don't know the concept of that, it's okay. But you know, we are our little girls. They are with us every day, right? So tell me, what part of that, you know, inner work do you think support the moment where you are in a very, you know, critical situation with a client or a potential client, and you find the courage to say something that you didn't even repeat before? It just comes. You follow your intuition.
It's such a great question, and it's one that's really hard to answer. I think so. For me, it's like, when you go through the process and, you know, you have the opportunity, like, your superpower is interviewing people. Like, when we do the visible factors, you know, things come out that I don't know how they come out, but they do. You're just like, the questions you ask and the space you hold where it's safe to just talk about stuff, it's just amazing. And it's almost like, once you've let that cat out of the bag, excuse the metaphor, it's like there's no going back, right? You become a new person. And so you can't even remember what it's like to hold that in and not talk about it, because it's like you've evolved into this new person. And so how you used to be is so unfamiliar to you that you don't even remember what it was like to be there. Does that make sense? It's kind of quite esoteric, I think, eh?
No, I think I get it. It's like your voice, because the words you say like have a new imprint on you. And it's a mold. There's a new mold. There is a new neural pathway. There is a new track that you build, and then you got to follow that track.
Yeah, you can't help it. And because you're aligned, like it shows up in your body language, it shows up in the power of your voice, because you're aligned with that person within and you're aligned with that bigger vision.
Oh my God. And I would have never guessed we would go there, but yeah.
No.
Yeah. And you know what? This is what happens too when you publish a book. Or when you go with a TEDx, because you imprint new words that kind of describe your new identity in a new way, even if it's not new, because usually you take things from the past and you bring it to people, and here's, but it builds a new identity, and then it's settled there, so there is no going back.
I love what you said about that, where that the norm, although there is no such thing, is about taking from something from the past and imprinting it into the future. But actually we do it the other way around, where we take from the future and we imprint it into the now.
Yes.
Boom.
Boom. I love it. Okay, I knew it would be so fun to have you here. You guys, hanging out with women like Tracy and I, like, it's game changing. Just saying, by the way. Just being in our energies. I am just so grateful. So, okay, so I think you kind of you drill down on one aspect of my services is through interviewing, that you find that it's something that really helps you get your voice out, right? Are there any other things you would like to bring at the level of work we are right now, that surprised you, or that you didn't think about that we do, that you're like, oh, okay, that's helping me, or this is a new way for me to approach this, and it unlocks, like, is there anything else you'd like to bring up to someone who might be listening to us?
I love the templates that we use. So I love the fact that we have those tried and tested templates that work because you use them for you use them for other clients. But also it's like those templates are supercharged because we do the work to make it safe to use the template. And I think that's one of the biggest changes between the work that I was doing before, where I was using the template, but I didn't feel safe in my body to be using the template. And so that's like it sounds like a little thing, but it's huge. It's like, not only do we have these templates where, okay, I know how to respond to that question, or I know what to put in that post because I'm going to base it off of this template, but there's also something within yourself where you feel safe doing it as well.
Yeah. Okay, and this is, I think, when you charge your post with the energy of touching one heart on the other side of the screen, right? When you feel safe and convicted and grounded in your it's not a post to post, it's a post to touch a heart.
Yeah, heart to heart.
And feeling safe to do so, and truly believe that your voice matters, even if your mind is trying to tell you, who are you?
And it
right?
will.
Okay. So what are one of the results or outcomes so far that you're the most excited to go even deeper with it? What is you feel that you're starting to get it, feel equipped? That, because I'm all about, I'm not a guru for anyone. We are all capable. Like, what do you feel is starting to be like this is in my backpack and it's going to be there forever?
I think so, because I'm a herbalist, I'm going to use a gardening analogy. That's how I roll.
I'm following you.
So for me, I feel like I am consistently sowing seeds and taking care of that soil. And that soil isn't just about following up on the conversations that I'm initiating with other people. Taking care of that soil is also about taking care of me and doing the work to be constantly looking at my beliefs, looking at what's getting in the way, looking at what's going to bring me forward, connecting with my greater vision. So for me, that is the biggest shift that's happening at the moment. It's like I can feel this momentum that's starting to build, and I know it's not an if, it's a when. Like, I know that success is guaranteed. I can feel it in the core of my being.
Can we talk about trust? You trust? Is that trust that you feel? Trust in yourself? Trust that there is no other way?
I think it's deeper than trust. I think it's just a knowing. Mm, yeah. Because
Mm.
for me, trust is like something I can put on and take off, depending on how I'm
Oh,
feeling on the day.
yeah.
But when there's a knowing, like it just is.
That's just beautiful. I just want to stay there. That was a clip. When there is a knowing, it's just there. Boom. Yeah,
Boom.
I love it. Wow, Tracy, golden nuggets. Okay. So now, uh, since we are working together, just to go on this side of the story, actually, would you like what seems now possible for you?
I'm looking at a business that's filled with my heart's desire. So I'm looking at having more conversations with people. I'm looking at helping more people. And I'm looking at I can touch that vision that I've held for so long.
Okay, I love it. Beautiful, beautiful. Okay, love it. So I don't want to take you much more longer because I know you have a full day. You're starting your day over there. We're ending our day.
Yes. The sun is shining.
Oh, wow. Um,
Mm.
so for someone who's watching, I always like to ask, what are people missing out on if they don't join social media love, or someone who is like all about becoming visible in a way that
Mhm.
feels joyful, easy, and natural, not pushed, not forced.
Mm. What's missing? I would say look back over the year you've just had. And if you're choosing to stay on the sidelines, you're choosing to hold back on going all in, if you're letting your mind and the resistance you feel win over your dreams, take a look back over the last year and know that next year will be the same.
Guys, that's what I was meaning when I say the way Tracy talks. I'm just listening to you. I'm like, this is just beautiful. This is like bang on, bang on. Yeah.
We're not here for the same. We're here for the adventure. That's why we're here.
Yeah. And we
Mm.
just have one life. Yes. Okay. I love it. So, for any of you watching the replay or watching with us, I don't know. Sometimes I can't see comments. That's the system. But if there is anything in the conversation and in the beautiful way that Tracy shared, like I call this vulnerability when you share your shifts. That's, it's a way to be visible. So, kudos to you, big time. If there is anything that makes you say, oh, I want to be in the room with Angelique and her community, or whether it's online or in the room, I want you to say yes to yourself. So it can be as simple as sending me a DM with "in the room." That's my new word. I want to be in the room, and then we'll have a chat, because it all, as you said, everything is about conversation, to kind of check where you at, what you're looking for, what are your dreams. I always like to connect with people on their dreams first, because this is a
Mm.
driver. This is what keeps us going on days where it's windy and snowy. In my country, it's very snowy. So before I let Tracy wrap up our conversation, I just want to invite you to be like, especially at the end of the year, and there is still time to make money. There is still time to find your beautiful client that is actually, as we talk, Googling how to, like whatever they're Googling or chat GPTing, right? Because more and more people are chat GPTing instead of Googling, right? And then your name may come up, but you got to show up, right? You got to show up. 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 So if you use social media or anything online, please reach out. because not only you'll be in touch with me, but when you work with me, I try to make sure that my community has some times together. So, for example, Tracy, you and I, we work one-on-one, but you meet some of our members at, we have pranic healing sessions every month, because I bring the best of people to support myself and my clients. And so there is some community time. And my dreams is that someday I'll do international retreats and we all be together in the same room. Yay. Yes. So Tracy, tell me, is there anything that you feel that your heart is want to share with the community of beautiful women entrepreneurs who want to become visible? They know they're meant for more, and there is that little thing that is keeping them behind the curtain.
I think the thing that comes to mind is I'm reminded of something our mentor, Tracy Litz, says a lot, where she says, you know, it's time to decide whether you're committed or whether you're interested. And either is fine. But just remember that when you're thinking about your big dream, either your dream's going to win or your mind's going to win. So if you're feeling called, reach out to Angelique, because it is a game changer. She is very supportive, very loving, and very talented. So just trust and make 2025 your year.
Yes, I'm going to be 50.
Yay! 50's awesome.
Yes, so lucky. Well, thank you, Tracy, for your time. Thank you for sharing your experience, because this is what I wanted, to really have your own, through your own lens, to share what it is feel like in the day-to-day, right? So we meet almost weekly. We WhatsApp a lot. So it's like I see that like it's really a journey that we share together, and your wins are my wins and my wins are your wins. Like, it's just beautiful. So I thank you for trusting me, Tracy. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for being you and doing the work that you do.
Merci.
Inspiring.
Okay, merci. Okay, all of you, go and check out Tracy, because she's amazing. And then if you have any questions, leave them in the comments and reach out within the room if you want to have a conversation with me. I'm going to stop that stream, and Tracy, stay backstage with me. I want to say goodbye properly. Okay, ciao.
Ciao.